Hi. I feel like I haven't got on here in so long. I don't even know when's the last time that I got on live. Hi, Taylor. I don't even know when's the last time that I got on live. It's been like I feel like forever. I'm actually getting on with Liz Gale. So I'm just waiting on her to pop in, and then I guess we're gonna have like a little chat. Also, crazy today. I went and got one nail fixed, and then another one came off, so I look ridiculous right now, but who is she? Oh, hold on. She's gonna, I think she's,
Oh, holla! We did it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Look at you. You're right there. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, is it still light out? It looks so bright where you are.
Yeah, it is. It's only 6:30 here, so it's still super bright and very hot and sunny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
9:30 here, so.
Yeah. So you got your kids all taken care of and all that
Yeah, they're
stuff.
resting, so we're good.
Yeah, good. I'm kind of tripped out because I feel like we have, I don't know, been mutuals for a while, and it's so random now that we're just like here.
Over like a year now, like a long time.
Yeah.
It's been like almost, yeah, like a year and I don't know, like 4 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So,
And your life like blew up then.
yeah.
That is, yeah, because I remember seeing your video. I mean, you're just now crying cupcake mom. I don't know. Yeah. And I remember seeing it and then thinking, like, oh, bummer, whatever about making your own cupcakes. And then the whole Scientology thing that you mentioned later in your lives, and I was like hooked. I'm just like,
Yeah.
but I suspect you'll probably get more national attention. Like, I don't feel like your story goes away because I have some videos that I can tell when you're getting traction because those videos start to come around on my feed again and like getting watched.
I get thousands a day still on that cupcake video. Thousands
Yeah.
of likes, comments, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, when is this going away? Like, I am surprised that one still circulates at all. To be honest, it's been so long, but it does. Yeah. And yeah, I go through ways where I get traction and I don't. I think that um, probably people hear about it, other people hear about it, and then they make videos on it, and then it goes back again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen some videos, I think even lately. They're like, have you heard, did you hear about this? And I was like, oh, I heard about it.
A long time ago.
I heard about it. Yeah. Well, people get mad at me still because I have a video. Well, I have a few videos. One of them is the calling Andrew a Scientologist, your ex, and that whole connection. And people even recently have been like, that didn't age well, or like, and I feel like people still don't get it, that specific connection. And I don't know, it just bugs me. It just bothers me.
There's like a hard people like he's able to say he isn't very like firmly because of the way he was in it that he is easy for him to pass off regardless. They still practice the same things. They
Yeah.
still go over all of the same stuff. They still like
Yeah.
have that in their household and their daily life and it's traumatizing and it's awful. So although maybe not out like preaching or like knocking on the doors or like going and doing those type of things, he's still practicing every day. He uses the words. If I speak to him,
Right.
even like anytime I've spoken to him, even well after being divorced, they'll still like confronting and bull baiting and like he uses all the terms all day. And I'm like, you can't fine and say that you're not, but you practice all that they do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard for me to like pinpoint the fault almost because sometimes I have made a video where I felt like I came too hard on Andrew or anybody in his position, like these business owners that don't really know that what they're being sold is Scientology repackaged. Um, But then there's like acting a particular way. Like there's a vindictiveness, there's like a calculated sort of mindset of retaliation, and that doesn't seem to be going away either.
Yeah, it's like at some point, for like a while, I think I was just quiet, like I was just like, you know what, if this is how he feels, let him get it out. Let him get it out, do what you need to do. But then there also becomes a point where you're like, okay, when is enough enough? Like, when is this just now about like you wanting attention and validation yourself and like just someone else, multiple people to hate me? And that's always been the goal. Like the second I even left, the day that I left, it was always like, if you leave, you will regret it because I will make every single person not like you. And that has been, you know, immediate.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it is hard. It's probably harder for you because you have you've done some shit that I guess he could like use against you. That, but I do wonder, like, what?
Was terrified at first. I mean, that was when I
Yeah.
left. It wasn't the first time I tried to leave, right? Like it had been so many times where he was like, "I will take everything from you. I will take everyone from you. I will take them from you." It was just, "I will ruin your life from all the things I know you've done." That happened so many times. But then one day I had to be like, "Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to test it out because I can't keep living like this either." Unfortunately, he wasn't bluffing, so yeah. But life goes on. So
Yeah. Man, and you were so young, right? When you married him, and you had had two kids already by the time you married him. When did you guys get married? How old were you?
I was 20, I think, when I met him. I think 21, maybe he was 35. I think.
You were
Yeah,
20 and he was
he's
35.
he's 11 years older than me, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
10
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah. Man, I can't even imagine. I mean, my 20-year-old self is so different than the woman I've grown into today. I
I'm
mean, I don't know if you know this.
sorry that I could even like that I was even. It stopped at my 20s. It didn't. I was fucked up way longer than that. Like I. That's one thing is I never have ever portrayed ever
Right.
that I didn't do things wrong. Like I've owned it. I'm very self-aware of like mistakes that I've made and like a mess that I've created and things like that. Like consequences that happen, those are my own fault. But at the same time, like you have to allow someone to grow. And this doesn't allow me to grow. It's like, every day. So that's kind of like my issue with it is like I can acknowledge, you know, like I can learn and try to learn from it and be better. But at the same time, like at what point do you let me be better? You preach to the internet every day. I want her to do better. I want her to do better. It isn't. You want to ruin me. You want to keep ruining me, and that's all that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not on the inside, but I certainly get that vibe. It is like, well, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. Okay, so coming from my background, like in growing up in Scientology, I know so many people who now have left Scientology and they can't believe what they did when they were in there. Like the mindset that they had when they were in Scientology, when after they've left, they look back and they think, who was I? How could I have done all those things? How could I have, in Scientology's case, maybe ruined lives or broken up families or whatever? And there does have to be, I mean, like, aren't all people redeemable at some point if you really do want to change and get better? And if we all stop growing at 20 or 25 or 30, like, why would we keep living so long? I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of like, how are you supposed to win?
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes, but I have learned over time. I can't control other people's actions, right? Like I can only control my own. And one thing that I like, I kept making mistakes. I feel like a lot of the time because I put myself in a very victim mindset. Like I was very much like I'm the victim in this situation. Like he won't stop. I can't grow. I can't do anything. And so I had to grow up really and realize like I'm not in control of his actions. I'm not in control of these other people's actions on the internet, and I can't keep blaming my actions on them. The reason why I'm making mistakes, or the reason why I'm not healing or whatever, like I can't blame other people for that. So I've had to really, really accept that And that's what's helped me kind of like been able to push through, especially in the last, 6 months or so. I've really changed a lot in my life because I had to develop that mindset of like, I'm never going to be able to control him. I'm never going to be able to get him to stop. I'm never, there were so many times that I would be like, he would say like, if I could go back to him, I just like could have no phone. Like I would have to delete the TikTok. That was at the beginning when he was still like trying to like use this to like win me back or all of those things. That's way past. He doesn't do that anymore because like he can't go back on any of this now, like, but there were so many times I debated it for so long because I just thought to myself like the girls, I'll do whatever he wants. And then secondly, like if for all this to stop, I will do it. Like and then I was just like, you know what, like even if I do it, he's got so much attention online. He's still going to keep his page up. I could delete mine, give him my phone, go back to him. I would probably be in the other room, like while he's like making videos because he now gets validation and attention that he loves.
Yeah. Well, I think he's done that a couple of times as well. Cause I know, I mean, in the past year, 4 months, you've taken down your TikTok a couple times, which could potentially be signaling like, okay, we're done. And yeah, he never stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I delete mine, it actually is never at this point to get him to stop anymore. I've got to a really healthy point for me where I have Annie who moderates my account and a couple other people that just like make sure I get on my For You page. I can scroll for hours. I will never see a video about myself. She's got it to the point that like every scenario is blocked. Like, so that way I can healthily get online and scroll. Like she deletes my comments right away that she doesn't think are healthy for me. And a lot of people have issues with that because they're like, that's not accountability, but it's like, I can't say enough how many times I am sorry or I've done shitty things. And like, but like these people that are commenting, I'm like, I don't owe you any accountability. I don't even know you. You don't know me, and don't pretend like you're not done shitty things in your life. So when I delete my page, it's because like there gets to a point sometimes where some stuff slips through the cracks and I just get like extremely overwhelmed. And I'm like, okay, mentally I can't do this. I need to take a breather. Like I need to take a breath and not get depressed over this right now. And on top of that, I've talked openly about my mental health online many, many times. So also that plays a part in when I delete my account. If I get to the point I'm very, very overwhelmed or I have a lot of anxiety, I'm like, okay, TikTok is not the place for me to be. I need to push through, like, for instance, like a manic episode that I'm going through or something like that. Like, I need to push through that while the internet's not in my face. And I've learned what's the right time for me here and what's not the right time for me to be here.
I feel like I still haven't learned that. So that's good. I screw up on that a lot. I mean, our situations are different, but just talking about like family trauma or history or whatever, like you can kind of end up going not too far, like not TMI, but just too far for yourself where you're just exhausted and you get kind of crash out emotionally or like a vulnerability hangover, I think is what Brene Brown calls it.
Yeah, well, I see myself like, because now I've luckily gotten so self-aware of like what's going on in my mental health at the time that it is like used to, I never knew if I'm going to be like manic or if I'm going to be like down bad or like whatever. Whereas now I'm in therapy, I'm in like a bunch of different kinds of therapy. So I'm well aware now of like, I can call Annie and be like, hey, I can feel that I'm probably getting a little manic. I can see in my videos that it's not consistent. I'm up and down. I think I need to take a week. I need to delete for a week. I need to delete for 2 weeks. Like I need to take a breath and then totally, like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is different too for like, I mean, you are sharing your life, not just this drama with Andrew or whatever, but like even just your regular TikTok content is sharing your life. So I guess that doesn't that get tiring? Like,
yeah, sometimes it does. I mean, I used to enjoy it. I used to post and I would have so much fun and I really, really enjoyed it. That was always what I did before any of this came out. It was just like my normal post. I wasn't ever bringing any drama or weird things to the internet. And it was something that like I always used, I think, to hold me accountable. Like if I was down bad or something like that, I would know that like, okay, I get up every day, I post my silly videos, like I'm posting that I'm doing my daily life and in routine. So it helped me like get out of bed or do things like that. Whereas now I don't love it anymore. I post like, but it's like everything I do, they see like 1 second of my life, you know, or they're getting one side of the story of my life. And unfortunately, like they rip all of it to pieces, you know, just like I could post like something and it's like I don't post my children on the internet anymore. You know, like very rarely will I post doing something with Blake or you know, something like that, and not even show her face anymore or anything like that. And then people are like making all these videos, like comments, and like she's not saying at all. And it's like, no, I'm giving you like an ounce because you guys take a mile, and like I'm not giving you any more thing, and, you know. And so I think that that's what's hard is that I used to enjoy it, and I want to enjoy it, but they make it pretty hard for me to do so anymore.
Yeah. Do you think you get like proportionately more hate?
Um, So I think that I get a lot of love privately. A lot of people don't see my DMs, which obviously I get a lot of positivity in my DMs. People are terrified now to comment on my videos because the select few that he has that like I mean collectively he probably has let's say like 100 maybe people that really support him in the way that they are not just nosy but go out of their way and like actually support him. I think that I probably have way more than that. And I get a lot of messages every day. But at the same time, they are terrified to say or do anything or even comment something nice on my videos anymore because the people that follow him DM them. They like, I mean, the podcast that is about me. I literally tagged my hairdresser on Instagram and the podcast people were messaging my hairdresser and they're like, hi, can you give us information on Elizabeth? And it's like, you're messaging my hairdresser. Like, this is embarrassing, you know, like for me to go get my hair done and my hairdresser is messaging me and she's like, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, these people are like messaging me. Yeah, like see, like there are people being like, I had to private my account because of his haters. Like they will go and like dox them just for leaving a nice, not anything negative about him, literally just saying to me, hey, somebody will comment, you're so pretty on my video, and somebody will be like, hey, how dare you comment she's pretty? You know how ugly she is on the inside. You support this type of like, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what did this person do to you? You know, like this is where we're at with it. It's like, and I have to say, I've told my supporters a million times, don't do that on my behalf. I don't need people defending me or doing drama with him. Just let it be, you know, like, and I think for the most part, unless he deletes it, from what I know, I don't think a lot of people do that on my behalf anymore because I've asked them not to. So,
Yeah. I mean, I still follow him and, you know, whatever, and see stuff that he does or whatever. I'm trying to think. I feel like it's my old videos because I posted a set of videos a year ago, right? Like maybe 12 videos when you first went viral and the whole thing and the Scientology thing came out. And I think what happens are people are seeing those old videos or your old videos or his old videos and they're thinking it's happening now. So none of the drama can ever die because it's always just like constant. And then so many things are worded in real time. It's like nobody knows what's actually happening right now versus what happened in the past versus, well, except for the website. Oh my gosh, tell me about the website. Is it still up?
So
I haven't checked.
Up, and on the podcast, they said they tracked the IP address to myself that I created the website. So I didn't see how they found that out or what IP address I guess they think they use. Yeah, I mean that was out before the TikTok went viral, and ruined a lot of things in my life. It also posted on there about a lot of people in my life that I would have never even exposed to knowing. I would have never even wanted people that I knew them. So Yeah, I don't really know how they think that they found that out or what the proof is that they said that I'm the one that created the website about myself. Um, because even
That's
then,
crazy.
Andrew told me even back then, he was like, I didn't do the website, but I talked to the people that did the website. Like,
That's what he had said too, and he had well, but he denied because I asked him a bunch of times, like on lives back when this first went down. But and he basically he at first said, "Oh, I don't know," but then that he did know, but he didn't really know. But I'm like, that's such BS. Except for in that website, there is a link, a like embedded link to the Scientology page or whatever you want to call it. And oh, we have some weather. Um, and that right there was what hooked me for sure because I was like, there is no way in hell that anybody who isn't associated with either a Scientology front group like a business administration or the actual church, um, it had to be. It had to be. Do you think that Andrew made the website?
so I personally now, after all of this in retrospect, I don't I don't think he made it himself. And I've actually always thought that. I've always thought he didn't make it on his own. He's not tech savvy, as we've seen from his videos. Like, I mean, they're getting better. He definitely has someone helping him, I don't know. But I do know that I do feel he didn't create it on his own. But there is no way at all possible that he didn't have things to do with it because he sent like those marriage documents that are on there. A lot of people are like, hey, these are private, or those aren't private, they're public. They're public marriage documents. They're not. You're not, public marriage documents in Florida, I don't know in other states, marriage documents in Florida are not allowed. If you have children, your marriage documents are sealed. They're not on there. Those were highlighted documents
Right.
that him and I had from our attorneys, well, his attorney, where they had highlighted them. Mm-hmm. So, like, he gave them to whoever this was. I don't know who made it, honestly, who actually hired someone or made it himself, but all of the information came from him, every single bit of it. And the Scientology thing is something that he talks about it. She, like, the words that he uses, the things that were done, I could read it and say 1,000%. I was married to him for 6 years. I know exactly what he talks like. I know the words that he uses that have to do with Scientology. And they are, even now, like, for instance, like he talks, like confronting is like a big thing he always talks about, but like even the bull baiting stuff, like at the beginning, he was saying that he doesn't even know anything about Scientology. That was how it first happened, is like,
Right.
brought it up and he was like, I don't even know why she would ever say that. I have no idea where she got this from, like, at all.
Right.
That was his first thing. But then
I remember that.
the messages came out that he was messaging someone else that had messaged him and said, like a different creator or something, that said, hey, why is she saying this? And he was like, well, I took some business courses. And so I think that's why. But although at first he acted like he had never heard of it before, like he didn't even, like, how in the world, he was like, it's in Clearwater, but I don't know anything about it. Like, I'm just never involved in anything. And so that just doesn't even make sense, like the two don't add up. You either know about it or you don't. You were in some courses with it or you weren't. And then he would take those and practice them in our daily life. Like the bull baiting thing was something we had to do every single day. And it was torture. I mean, torturous things that he would say and do during all of it. I mean, I think he probably, I don't even know if that's how they do it there exactly, or he just like twisted it on his own sick way. But I mean, it's just like something I couldn't even imagine that a church or something would do to other people. And then afterwards, after we got divorced, I started reading on it and I'm like, wait, they do use this to torture people, to say terrible, terrible things. And yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Well, and that was really sus to me too, because when the whole Scientology connection came up, When Andrew, and even in my chat here, it's like, oh, we were never Scientologists. Okay, I understand that you guys did not actually go into a church of Scientology and say, hey, we want to apply to be members here. But when you sign up for business administrative courses and you let that into your life and you're paying for L. Ron Hubbard to guide your ethics, your behavior modifications, the expectations of your relationships, your communication, your job performance, all of those things, you are essentially using Scientology in all these aspects of your life. And if it's true that he doesn't know that, then well, somebody better tell him. Like some you guys have to know this. What were you gonna say? Sorry, got worked up.
So my first ever experience with it, when I very found out. So I met Andrew. We married very quickly, so there was no like time for me to really know what he was in or not in. Honestly, I started working in the offices, and whenever I got like, I don't know, probably a weekend and working in the office, he was like, hey, I take these courses. I require all of my office staff to do it. So I need you to do it as my office manager. You're going to have to go attend the classes. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Never told me like what it was. I didn't know that it was Scientology until I went there. And I'll be honest, I actually didn't even know who like Ron L. Hubbard was. Like if someone would have said his name, I wouldn't have pinned it to Scientology. Like I was young, stupid. I didn't know any of that stuff. And so then when I went, but I had heard of Scientology, not necessarily Ron L. Hubbard, but the stigma around Scientology, that's not good. A lot of stuff that bad it has to do with. So when I went the very first day, I was like, he didn't go. It was just like an office staff. So we just went in, and then we went to, he dropped me off. I went in, checked in, signed in. They sent you in a room with like the books. And on the book, it literally says business courses by Scientology. Right on, immediately. So there is no denying what you're there to do. I was there for 1 minute before I found out what we were there for. They make you sign a disclosure when you walk in that door. There's a paper they give you that says Ron L. Hubbard, Scientology. These are courses by them. The members of the church who runs the Scientology program that I'm now entering. There was no confusion as to what we're doing here. Like, so that is just bullcrap. I mean, they're very transparent in what you're doing. The videos they play,
right?
All of it, they talk about it. And I probably went, I want to say max 3 times to these courses because I was like, I got overwhelmed. I went to them, and then first time, it was just me reading the book or whatever else. Second time was like, started getting a little weird. I'm now in this group with this room with a bunch of other people that are there to learn, and they're calling people up, and they're doing these like confronting drills in front of everyone around. Mind you, I'm like a young girl, and I'm sitting here being like, whoa, I don't want to get up there and do this in front of people. Like, there is no way. And then I learned that through this, I'm talking to a girl that's my last day that I ever attended. I'm sitting next to a girl who's telling me she's been doing it for a while. They go to the church as well. Sometimes they started in the business courses, not in the church. They were dentists. So the program, let me specify, is actually for dentists, not for eye doctors.
Okay.
Whole courses for selling for dentists, but somehow he got into it. And then he, so I think honestly, there were maybe 2 eye doctors there. The whole entire place was all dentists. But she was telling me, she's like, we started as this, my husband, we started as this, now we're in the church. She's like, this bull baiting and confronting, your husbands actually make a list, and they say all of the things that this is my turn. I'm about to go up. She's warning me that I'm about to go up to this. I'm going to sit down in front of this whole entire group of strangers. I don't know who they are. I don't know anything about these people. I'm going to sit across from a man that I do not know who is in this Scientology running this program. My husband has gave him a list of all of my insecurities, things that happened to me in my childhood, terrible things that have been going on in my life. And I'm going to sit in front of a group of 50 to 100 people. I don't know back then how many. And he's going to say all of them to me. He's going to say everything that I've been through. And I have to sit there and I can't react. I can't move. I can't blink barely. I can't twitch, or we're going to restart and we're going to do it again until I no longer blink, until I no longer twitch, until I no longer let it affect me. And it would go on again and again and again and again. And like, they don't let you just get up. Like they don't let you just like get up out of the room and like go. Like, you're not allowed to just leave just because they're doing this to you. And so like, you're sitting there basically as a human being against your own free will while someone is verbally torturing you that you've never met and you've never talked to, and they know every dark thing about your whole entire life. My eating disorder, he's talking about my acne, he's talking about my childhood, my parents, my mom, and my relationship with her, and things, not even things that I have said, but Andrew's perspective of what happened in my life, things that he told them. And so I left like, I probably feeling the lowest I'd ever felt in my life, because it was one thing that my husband was doing this to me at home to train me every night and every day. But for a stranger to do it, I was like, there is just no way this could be happening. And I'll be honest, like, obviously I did things wrong before my husband, right? That he knew about, that he's seen. And I went through some not great things. And I had told him a bunch of things about, like, you know, a lot of stuff I had went through. And not to compare what I went through to the other women in the group, but a lot of stuff they were talking about their weight maybe, or that they don't clean their house properly or like something. But that was not Andrew's list. Andrew's list was to my whole life. And I'm sitting there like, wow, no one else talked about this. I thought everyone else's stuff was pretty horrific until I heard mine. And then I'm like, no way did I think that someone was going to say all this to me right now. So yeah, it's very, very, very interesting what they do to people. And that was the last day I ever went. He continued to go, obviously, and he still continued to practice the things at home every day with me, but I never could go back after that. And I told him, I'm like, I will never return to that place. I will never return. It doesn't matter what you do. You are never getting me put back in that building again.
Right. It's crazy to read my comments right now. Maybe you see similar ones. There are people in here actually saying that you're making this up, which I find to be shocking and ridiculous. And I almost feel like I have to say something. What you just described is literally Scientology. It is called a training routine, bull baiting, as you said, and nobody gets out of it. Like, one of the things that people say about child abuse in Scientology, because I was raised in Scientology, is they do that with little kids. Like, you can be, for me, for example, I was really flat chested and I wanted boobs when I was like 12. And that was what I was. I mean, like, the grown men were like, oh, you're flat chested, in these bull baiting sessions where you sit down, it's formal, across from another person, and you can't say anything, and you can't twitch, and you can't move. And if you do have a reaction, they say flunk, and then they restart and they say the same thing. So for me, it's like, oh, you're flat chested. Like, you're flat chested. If I cried or if I made a face, flunk. And then you do it again. You're flat chested until you turn into a robot or a zombie, essentially, because you have no reaction. And I get in some cases how that would be good training. Like, I don't know, maybe SWAT teams or something, but I don't think like optometrist office people or dentists or like little kids.
Like, yeah.
We don't need that.
I will say, I have think every day that I learned that back then, and he did that to me every day, because if not, a lot of people ask me all the time, Liz, how for a year and a half have you dealt with this on the internet? And I'm like, honestly, probably that training, because that is the only way that a human being could probably deal with it and be like, oh, well, you know, like, I guess I've heard all this before. Like, yeah, I've heard it so many times, because Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's really wild, and I think that people just like assume because he said I'm not in Scientology that like he didn't practice all of these things, and he very much did.
Yeah, and it feels like such a teachable moment because I can't tell if he's lying about it or not, but assuming he really is just like, oh, I did it for 2 years and then I just realized it was Scientology and I got out. That's the part to me then afterward, like, shouldn't you be warning people? Isn't there? I mean,
2 years
that
is a
feels
long time. You didn't
that feels
realize
weird.
2 years later.
Yes,
I realized
right?
one moment after walking
Yeah,
into what I was in, they make you sign a
yeah.
form and says,
The form.
"We are not the church, but this is
Right.
Scientology."
Yeah, that's so crazy. And Scientology's everywhere down there. So, and maybe is this a touchy subject? I don't know. But the coffee shop or wine bar
Go
that
ahead.
you wanted. Okay. um who did you like who did you rent from? Was it one of the Minkoffs? Did
Yes.
you actually talk to them and deal with them?
Yeah, many times. Okay, so when I was in the when I was in sorry, I was reading the comments.
Okay.
I wanted to open a coffee shop. I lived in Clearwater, so I looked downtown Clearwater.
Mhm.
My realtor at the time found the coffee shop for me, and it was under Rebecca, or it was under like their Minkoff's, like whatever.
Holdings, yeah.
Had no idea who they even are at
Okay.
all. I didn't even know anything about it. She said, "Hey, they're Scientologists or whatever," and then she was like, "Oh, also, I think the woman like is a handbag designer, and the man like it's her brother. I think he's her brother. That's what she was saying, and the dad. They all own this." And so then we went to the coffee shop, looked at it, everything like that. I never met them at the time. Met their realtor only. Never
Okay.
talked to them either. When I decided I wanted to do the coffee shop, Yuri, called me on the phone. He was like,
Okay.
"Hi," like talked to me for like an hour, asked me all kinds of personal questions, like just everything. And then when I got done, I ended up running out of money, could not afford it. I left my husband in the midst of all of this stuff, so I did not do the coffee shop, obviously, as we all know. They sued me for, well, actually, they did not sue me yet. First, they decided to they decided to give me like what is it called when you like can lease it out to someone, a sublease. They told me we will sublease it for you so we don't basically sue you for like all the stuff. We'll find the tenant and like for you to sublease. We'll do all the background check on them, make sure they can pay the rent, everything like that. If they break the lease, then you're still responsible for all of it, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay. They broke the lease. It was a gym. They hired a guy with a gym. They broke the lease, and so then I was responsible again. They sued me, and they dropped the lawsuit actually. So they ended up dropping the lawsuit randomly, which I was very very shocked over. We didn't even go to court yet before they dropped it, and they ended up why would they do that? I don't know what that is, but I don't know why they ended up dropping it. They removed Andrew first because I had written an email that said like he's not responsible for any of this. It was all me. You know, we're not married. Let him off the hook for this or whatever. And then they were suing me alone, and then they dropped it. They dropped it last year, and out of nowhere, like out of nowhere, after I mentioned online.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was it after or before you went viral? After.
Yep.
Yeah.
After I mentioned the Scientology online.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Because the dad in that situation is a monster.
I know. I did a lot of research. So I'll be honest, I knew none of that until your videos.
Oh, really?
None of it. I knew that they were suing me. I knew they were in Scientology, but I never even looked into them. Honestly, it was just like that was an issue that I got myself into. You know, in that situation, they weren't really being monsters to me. I'm the one who broke the lease. All of that was my responsibility. So I wasn't even like really looking into them. It was like, it was my fault, whatever. Like, I had to deal with it. But then I saw your videos and I was like, oh my gosh, And so I don't know if it was a scenario where they dropped it because they were going to be getting attention from it now, like attention they did not want. I don't know if it's because Scientology got brought up in the conversation. Um, I don't know what made it happen.
Right.
Yeah, they dropped it randomly out of nowhere, and which is very surprising because um, it was a lot of money they were wanting from me. So I'm
Right.
very, very surprised. And typically they don't give up.
Right. No, they don't usually give up. I'd be curious as to what that thought process was. I wonder if it had like just risk assessment. Um, they're going into some lawsuits. Like David Minkoff. Okay, just for everybody watching really quickly. The Minkoff family is who we're talking about. Yuri is the son. Rebecca, who was on Real Housewives of New York last season. And then the dad is David Minkoff. You guys can all Google this, and he is a monster. Um, but Yuri too is actually. He's been known to do a lot of weird undercover ops for Scientology. He's like a known OSA, which is Office of Special Affairs agent. Um, anyway, I wonder because the dad is getting sued because of the wrongful death. He basically killed another woman. He's like a woman every decade. You flew pretty close to the sun. I'm glad that you didn't get more damaged, honestly, by them. But if you guys look it up, it is wild. He has been a long-standing Scientologist doctor who has covered up so much abuse and caused the death and harm of so many women, really. Young, bright, beautiful women seems to be his.
I also think another point about the fact that he was saying he was in it for 2 years and then got out of it as second he like knew that it was Scientology or whatever else. I got the coffee shop at the end of my marriage. The courses were at the very beginning of my marriage. At any
Okay.
point, if he felt like Scientology was terrible or whatever else, he would have said at the end of my marriage, "Hey, I don't think you should get into business with them. I
Right.
got out of this group because I found out what it was."
Right.
That is not what happened. The only reason he got out was because those courses are so ungodly expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Like hundreds of thousands for 1 year. And he
Yep.
couldn't take out any more loans to pay for it anymore.
Right.
That is the truth as to why he stopped. Not because of any other reason. They were calling him hundreds of times a day, like, "Hey, are you going to pay us? Are you going to come to course? Are you going to pay? Are you going to pay? Are you going to pay?" That is why he didn't come back. It had nothing to do with him realizing that he shouldn't be there.
Right. Well, and see, I know that's the thing. I get that it's such a bad look to be associated with Scientology. And I would never, it's like this weird tightrope that I know I'm walking because I don't want to like criticize somebody for making a mistake, for falling into a bad group or like getting the wool pulled over their eyes. That happens to everybody. But there does come a point when it's like, are you going to admit though that you did it for a while, or are we all just going to pretend like it didn't? Because the reality is when you buy those courses, like you're saying $100,000 a year, Scientology, the actual entity of Scientology, it's like an MLM. They get that money. It goes up the pipeline or whatever. And so if you talk like a Scientologist, you pay money that goes to Scientology. You run your business like a Scientologist. You act like a Scientologist, and you expect other people to act like and train in Scientology. What do you call that?
Right. What is it? Like if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. And even I think, like, oh, see, Danny, who's Danny C? Is that your old stepmom? Yeah, I remember her. Yeah. So she's like, I thought you were done talking about my family. Like, we're not Scientologists. And you know what's so funny is she's not. I know. And she did a video way back in the day. I remember. And she said, Andrew could never be a Scientologist because he doesn't, what did she say? Because he doesn't spend all of his time and money on Scientology.
But he did.
And I'm like, but he did.
More because he lost money. He couldn't afford it anymore. Probably because I was spending all his money, let's be honest. But like, no, he couldn't go anymore. That is why he stopped. Danielle was never in it. His brother was never in it. His mom was never in it. Like, honestly, they weren't. And I have nothing, negative to say about any of them. He was most certainly in it, practiced it every single day, every night, every day. Every term that comes out of his mouth is directly them. And he can go on and on to say he doesn't do it, but the reality of the situation is all of what he's doing online every day is a direct representation of what they do.
Yes. I think that hits it so on the nose where it's like walks like a duck, talks like a duck. It's so hard for me to take it seriously, honestly. Like what he says about, oh, I'm not in Scientology. I just want things to be better. I want everyone like it's full of shit. I feel like that storyline is full of shit. And I don't know. It bothers me. It bothers me because it could be such a teaching opportunity for people. Like other doctors and optometrists or like people should know that it is Scientology.
It's a trap. It is
It's
100% a trap. And that is the thing. I know genuinely I could say easily, of course he didn't enter that program thinking he's going to walk out doing this and being this person.
Right.
But the actual thing is he is like, so
yeah. I just wish that every other doctor or like person who has a business that is approached by the World Enterprise Institute of Scientology and they're like, no, it's secular. I just wish that they would understand that eventually you're gonna get associated with Scientology. Like, sorry, everyone's so mad. Like, I'm not the one who took the courses. I mean, I did. I was born in it and I took other courses and I own that. But like, you take courses for 2 years and then you pretend like nothing ever happened.
And in those 2 years, I think that people that don't know anything about Scientology don't understand this. 2 years, it's not like, oh, let's go to a course here and there. No, they make you go every day for 2 years.
Yes.
Every day, you're not missing a day. So please tell me, in any walk of life, in any situation, if you do something every single day for 2 years, you walk away and that's not a part of your life, you're not that person, there's no way. You practice a habit every single day for 2 years. And it's not even a habit. It is them wiring your brain for 2 years how to behave, what to do, what to say, who you should be, how you should treat people, the way you should go. I swear, I've said this a million times, their whole thing is about teaching people how to manipulate other people. I mean, that's what they do. They will literally tell you verbatim, word for word, on how to manipulate someone to get them to do what you want them to do.
Right. I was just actually editing a video about that earlier. Because when I worked for Scientology, I lasted 6 months when I was 19. My job was to find people's ruin. So my job would be to have you take the personality test, and then I would find out on the test where you kind of scored low, and that would be probably where you felt insecure or weren't doing very well. And then I would swoop in and I'd be like, well, I was supposed to. I really sucked at it. But if I was doing my job, I'd swoop in and like basically make you cry, like make you feel so bad about your situation. And then I would say, oh, but we have a solution. I have a solution. And if you were in a quote church of Scientology, I would say the solution is Scientology, but you just happen to be sitting in a doctor's office or somewhere else. And so I say the solution is our business administrative program. And it's the same thing with Scientology schools, actually. They follow very, very similar stuff, but they call it something different. And they say, oh, we're not religious. I don't know. It's really frustrating. I wish I could do a PSA for like doctors and optometrists to know, like, even if you want to make the money and you like the narcissistic, because they love bomb you and they make you feel so special and important, and it's rich and it's shiny. But if you don't want someone to call you a Scientologist, if that's so offensive to you, then don't do it. Then don't do the courses. Because yeah.
He wouldn't have it. He would have never, I guess, had an issue with it, people saying that at all. Except for the fact that it kind of switched the narrative where people were like, wait, that's we know about that. We know that this is a type of stuff Scientologists do. And that is kind of where he was like, wait, I don't even know anything about Scientology. I don't even know where she got that from. Like,
Right.
instead of being like, well, like he could have just came on and said, well, I did take courses of Scientology for 2 years. But like, I'm not in the church or whatever, however, which way he wanted to go about it. But at first he acted like it was like this foreign concept. Like, I don't even know what she's talking about. I've never even like heard of that. Where does she even get that from? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what kind of drew me to this situation as well. Because yeah, you were like, no, Scientology, and he was just saying, I don't know, how could that possibly be? And it's like, well, actually, the link is right there on the website. Nobody would put a Scientology like philosophy link on their website if they weren't into it somehow. I still think that I had always thought Yuri Minkoff somehow with one of his people, his cronies, was just like, throw the website up, like make her pay. I don't know.
We'll never know. I don't know who did it with him. Somebody helped him. At the end of the day, they think I did my own website. At this point, I don't even defend myself because I just don't care.
Let's talk through that for a second. Actually, so what I got through a little bit of the eLIESabeth podcast, but honestly, when they said there was no Scientology connection, when they're like, we looked into it and there was no Scientology connection at all, I was like, sorry, I can't. Like, to me, I lost the credibility. And not saying that, I don't know, I stopped listening. I'm not sure.
I will say, I said this in a video the other day, I think they did a very tasteful job on the podcast. I think they, as far as the information they feel like they got, a lot of it they did pretty well. I was very like, it was put together well. They were informative and all of those things. I will, there's a couple issues that I have with it. One, they state at the beginning of it or something, this is not hearsay, this is all fact, something.
Okay.
You're getting the information from one party. You don't have, even the proof you're getting is from one party or words from one party, because I'm sitting there and I'm listening and there's a lot of truth. I've said that some of the things that they're on there, they're saying it's true. And I'm like, yeah, they got that right. But then there are others that I'm like, this is so made up. I don't even know where I've ever even heard this. Like, this doesn't even like come close. I mean, at this point, I don't care. But the website thing is so far-fetched. I can't even like understand where they would get that from. I guess they said my IP address. I didn't listen to that. I think that's the last episode is and I didn't listen to that one just because I had listened to the other ones, and maybe there's two that I haven't listened to. I just stopped listening to it. I said that they did a great job.
What is that like, listening to a podcast about you like that? Like, it's not super flattering.
No, it's not. It isn't.
I mean,
yeah.
But you listened. You were compelled. You wanted to know.
I didn't for a long time. For a long time, I didn't listen. I listened, I think, about a month ago for the first time. And it is because someone, a girl that I had agreed to like stay off the internet with, not be battling back and forth with, went on. And so this is the very first time that I listened, because I was like, interesting. Seems how this is not what we agreed upon. So then I listened. So I listened to that one first, this episode. And then I got kind of hooked. I was like, this would be good if it wasn't about me. I would kind of like this. This is very interesting if it wasn't about me. So then I was kind of hooked on it. I went back to episode 1 and I listened. And I was like, wow. And I am pretty self-aware of myself, like shit I've done and who I was and things I even need to fix now. So when I listened to it, I was like, I will say sometimes there are things I don't even remember, I'll be honest, like that I've pushed so far down and blacked out of my mind things I've done or things I've said, ways I've acted. So then when I hear it and I'm like, shit, that wasn't very nice of me, or wow, like I really have, some more growing to do. But then there are other things where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so far-fetched. This is someone wanting to jump on this like bandwagon, and it doesn't. But then I'm like, at this point, I don't super care. I don't care. I didn't get angry. I didn't get like, I typically don't get that way anymore unless it involves my children. In any way. That's about when I turn from like not caring to really, really caring. But I've got some pretty thick skin, I guess, because I don't really care that much anymore about any of it. I don't. I thought it would affect my real personal life much more. That's where I was kind of very, very, very anxious about it. Like I thought it would, and it hasn't even a little bit.
Like your friends or your job or what? What do you mean?
Okay, job wise, I will say it has affected that. You Google my name and it's all that pops up. And of course, that's the first thing anyone does when you're applying for a job. So I've actually had to get a job through someone that I know. Like I know the person who owns a company, and like they know me and a person, and they're like, okay. But friends hasn't, relationships hasn't. I mean, I will be completely honest in the fact that like everyone knows that I had like sugar daddies that paid for my things before. They will still offer it. Does not matter what they see on the internet. Like, and it doesn't, I don't even, so to me, I always wonder what the goal is, because they're not super achieving much with it. Like,
Right.
and I think that's where I kind of like, luckily for me, I don't know. Sometimes I'm grateful for it. I'll be honest, because it's been able to make me a little bit. I could have never grown had this not happened. I mean, truthfully, I wouldn't have been even remotely a better person if this didn't happen. I didn't have people calling me out, or me like being like looking at myself in the mirror and being like, "Holy crap, I did do those things," or "Oh my gosh, like that's terrible," or putting me in uncomfortable situations to where I had to learn to be different. But it's also helped me be more honest about myself, because now I'm able, when I meet someone new, like for instance, if I was dating or anything, literally I'm like, hey, this is the link. Please research all of this before you ever speak to me again, and then come to me. Because I'm like, I don't want to, I don't know, like I don't want to get to the point where like I don't, and most men aren't on TikTok.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's usually like a woman that finds it, that knows the man, and then sends it to them. And they're like, hey, did you see this about this girl? And they're like, yeah, she already told me. But like, so I've learned to send it immediately. If I have anyone new, I'm like, hey,
Right.
like, please read it.
What a funny thing to have to think about. I mean, you're kind of in your villain era. Maybe not right now, but do you watch the Secret Wives of Mormon, the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives? Do you watch that show?
I love it so much.
Have you seen that one? No,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, season 1 villain is not season 2 villain. So I feel like you might end up coming around. I'm hoping.
I don't know. I think that
Yeah.
people go back and forth, and they often just, every few months swap on who they like in this situation and who they don't. I think what the difference is now is, for a very long time now, I've kind of just been quiet on it. I no longer talk about it. I don't really share my side of it. So I think there's only one side for them to listen to. And that kind of makes it like easy for them. If I were to come on and really, really, and I never have, share every horrific thing he's done to me, it doesn't take away. The reason why I don't is because it doesn't take away from the shitty things that I've done. So what is the point? I'm getting on here to talk poorly about, my ex-husband for what? Because it's not an excuse for my behavior. And so I just choose not to anymore. And I'm like, I've learned, people that love me still love me. The people that don't like me, I also think that there comes a time where there's already been so much out here that the people that are supporting me, the like 400,000 that support me still, I mean, minus probably like some of them that are following me for trolling, but like the
The love to haters.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that they probably still um there isn't much more that someone could say that would get them to not like me. It's been a lot. You either like me at this point or you don't like me at this point. I don't, and so me getting on to talk about it to sway the few people that he does, I don't need to do that, you know. And it's like all that does is hurt children involved, and I don't. And I also want to clarify really quick on this because I see a lot of my comments, at least, that are like, I thought you're not talking about him anymore and you're not bashing him. I don't think this whole entire time I've bashed him on this at all. And this was
We're not bashing anybody.
yeah, this was educational about Scientology. Actually, had nothing really to do with him other than the things that like I had to go through in Scientology with him. Other than that, I have nothing to say. I'm not saying anything negative. Yeah, so
Yeah, and you could honestly swap pretty much any other random dude into the place of Andrew in this Scientology scenario. You know, I mean, it happens to a lot of people. So
yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I hope
It's a
one
lot.
day it ends. I do. I go on and off, on here, off here. But the reality is, you know, I love posting. I love sharing. I do think a lot of things, whether people like me or not, they feel like my mistakes make me an all over bad person. And I don't agree with that. I don't know if that's like, they're going to say that's like a narcissist trait of mine, probably. But the reality is, like, it's not. And I think that sharing the stuff I've went through on here, talking about my mental health and all of that stuff, I think a lot of people that make negative comments are secretly going through a lot of bad things in their own head that they'll never talk about. And I am much more relatable than the other party that gets on here and says, I never did anything wrong. The only thing I ever did wrong in my marriage was trust her. It's like, that's not relatable. That's not the reality. That's not the truth. I can at least get on here and say, like, I'm here. I have all of this stuff going on in my head. I've done all kinds of bad things. A lot of people, most people in the world have done bad things. They just don't get caught. It's not talked about. You know, maybe they're not things that the same things I've done. Maybe they're not as
I
bad.
don't think everybody's done what you've done.
Absolutely not.
I shouldn't laugh. But I mean, you know.
Absolutely not. Hell no, they haven't. No way, no way, no way.
But how are you supposed to, like, what do you feel like do you feel like you have to do more things to overcome your past, or like, do you feel like you're in a good place now? I mean, like, where are you with it? If you want to talk about it, you don't have to.
So I think that I have days where I'm like really, really, really down on myself about all of it. And I think it depends on like where I'm at in my therapy, like for that, at that time, like what I've talked about that day or that week or something. And also where my mental health is probably like chemically. So I'll go through phases where I'm like really, really down and I'm feeling like I can't escape it. You know, I'm like, I don't think I'll ever overcome anything I did. I don't think I'll ever overcome this guilt. I can't live with myself like this. This is so terrible. Like, this makes me such a bad person. I don't know. Like, I feel so much like, are my kids going to grow up and be like how I was? Like, because I have all these like chemically, like, you know, like imbalances that I'm trying to like work through and like being a shitty person. And like, so those things scare me and I get overwhelmed with them. But then there are days, a lot of days now, a lot more days than bad days now, where I'm like, you know what, like, people are capable of change. I am capable of doing the right thing. I am capable of being a good person and making the right choices. And so those days are more now than they ever were. I don't know that it's ever realistic in my life that I'm ever going to be able to fix all the problems that I made. That's just probably not going to happen. And I've accepted that, you know, some problems I just cannot fix that I did. But, you know, I can just try every day to be better and not revert back to that no matter what's going on in my life or no matter how hard things seem. And I just like keep reminding myself of that. I can't make everything right. I just cannot do it again. And I'm just sorry, you know, and that's something that I probably will always have to live with. But the best thing I can do, obviously, is just try to keep moving forward and like a positive direction. And I think definitely now I am much more self-aware and able to be able to stop myself. Like, you don't go from being that shitty, right, to being a good person overnight. That's for sure. But I am able now to consciously be like, you know what, like, okay, you're in a crash out era right now. Like, what can we do to make it not get to that point? Like, to where you're not getting to be the way that you used to be, or, you know, like, stay inside your house. Don't walk outside because we're going to probably be a tornado for a month. Like, let's just stay in for a while. And so I'm able to do those things, and that helps. And so I'm way more positive now because I'm like, you know what? I see a future that, like, and maybe one day there's no way I can ever know if I'm going to have to, consequences are going to come, you know, right. And that's something that I've learned that I just have to deal with. And if I do, I will, because I deserve them. And that's something that I will have to, like, you know, handle. But at the same time, in the meantime, I can't stop trying to live my life and change myself and be better and all of those things. So, you know, I'm just kind of waiting it out and being better in the meantime.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this is such a dorky question. I don't know. But, like, what does a good life look like to you? Like, what's next? Where are you going? What's in the future?
So, I don't know. I have, you know, court coming up with my girls, so that's something that's important. I can't obviously talk a lot about that or any more than just saying that, but it's something I've been working on silently and quietly and preparing for, and that's a big deal for me. I am hoping to, you know, be able to get to some resolution with the things that I have done, and see what is going to come out, like, with that, and where that's going. And so that's kind of something I, like, makes me, like, I guess, like, hold back on my future plans, just because I don't know what goes on with that. But other than that, I'm just working. I just want to get to a place where I'm just consistently happy. I've lived without earning a very luxurious life. I've done everything. I've done all the stuff. I've traveled. I've done pretty much all things that I didn't deserve to do. And unfortunately, like, that's not the best. But I am at a place now, like, I don't want anything, you know. I just want peace. And I think that, like, I probably always took what that is for granted by wanting everything else and to be, like, accepted and to do all these things and prove that I'm someone that I'm not. Whereas now, like, I just want to be me, and I just want to be, like, with my babies and relaxed and happy and post my little videos and that's it. So
yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'd say, like, hopefully everything will blow over and you'll be able to get, because, I mean, if everybody says, oh, make it right, you actually do have to be in a stable, healthy place to be able to, whatever that looks like, make it right for yourself, not for anybody. You know, that's what I mean. Yeah, do you feel pretty stable right now? Or do you need...
Right now, I'm pretty stable. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I mean, I work, I come home, I take, you know, my kids just started school, but other than that, like, we're going to camp or we're doing whatever. I have a very, very, very small circle in my life. I go out sometimes. I
think it's funny that people get mad about you going to the club. I think that's funny. Honestly, anybody in any of these chats, if you are actually going to get mad at a grown person for going out to, like, a nightlife oriented location, get the fuck out of here. That's what I have to say.
It's wild. It's crazy. Like, I will see somebody commented today. I posted a video, like, today, I think, or yesterday. I went out of town to Miami to my friend's birthday, and we went to like a two friends like concert. And somebody today was like, "Don't your kids start school today?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Shouldn't you be with them?" And I was like, "Well, this was this was on Saturday over the weekend." I didn't say this, but in my head, I'm like, Saturday over the weekend. I had my daughter, her date that were my dates. Her dad's days were this weekend. Right. So what do you want me to do? Like, I suppose they want me to just sit in my house. But if I'm just sitting in my house, there's going to be an issue with that. And if I'm posting online, there's going to be an issue with that. It's just
yeah. I mean, doesn't that mean that you're like famous? Isn't that what that means now? I mean, I don't know the real definition of famous, I guess, anymore, but if you have other people making podcasts about you and other people's entire platforms relying on talking about you and continuing to talk about you, then I think that makes you famous. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so the man I was seeing, like I've been seeing for, a very long time, the podcast people reached out to him in a message and they were like,
"Oh, okay.
Can you give details on like, Liz, I heard you guys don't talk anymore." Of course, like he obviously showed me it right away or whatever. And I'm like, you should write them back and like say like you need to start charging them like TMZ. Like, yeah, I'll send you photos for money. I'll sneak you photos of what she's doing if you can pay me. Right. I'm like, like,
right.
And I'm like, that's just,
I'd be like, tell them I'm the best lover in the world. Tell them that I'm good at everything.
Yeah, I literally should be like, can you sell like a Kim K video to them? Like,
exactly. Did you actually start OnlyFans? Do you really have that? I wasn't sure if you were joking or what was going on.
So I did open one up, but no, okay. I never like did anything with it. Like I just like I couldn't do it. I was like this. Yeah, my aunt, she's on my side, like commenting right now, and she's like, she's always telling me like the famous thing. She's always like, who cares? Like negative people are always get like comments that are negative or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I don't think so. Like not like this, but like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it seems to me like everybody who hits a certain level of creator, like, I don't know, maybe like around 100,000 or something, in order to get that next big jump, everybody kind of needs a scandal. Sometimes the scandals are like little things that didn't really happen. Sometimes they're other things that happened. But I feel like you can't even get your numbers that high without some kind of like major controversy.
Yeah, my controversy just keeps going though. Unfortunately, like I keep waiting for it not to, but it's just like hundreds of videos like every other day of just like more people talking about it, more people talking about it, more people talking about it. And I have learned too, I think that like a lot of people do talk about it to get views, and not to sound like that girl, like, oh, they're talking about me to get views, but people are like making videos with like songs over it, and they're like, Elizabeth Teckenbrock, like who the F you are. And I'm like, all right, sit down. Like you don't know anything. Yeah.
I mean, I think that a few of my videos are some of my higher number ones, talking about your drama, girl, you and your ex-husband.
Yeah, people love it. I don't know. I mean, what's the weirdest part for me, and this is something I laugh about every day. I will see some really, really wild things like that people will comment on like other people's stuff about me. But then the other side is that like that same people are like swiping up on my stories on Instagram, hearting them, or like messaging me on Instagram or in my DMs on TikTok. And I'm like, I don't know if they're delusional, that they think that like, I guess like, because I'm a bigger creator, that I don't know that they're like somewhere else commenting like horrific things, like not even just like a little, like horrific thing. And I'm like, how are you sliding in my DMs at the same time, like saying something to me? I've noticed that too. Like, well,
So the YouTube ex-Scientology space is wild. It is like, it's insanity. At one point, there was a creator who was making videos about every ex-Scientologist who was selling, I can't even say it on here, let's just say male towels for a specific type of mess.
Wow.
With our faces on them, with ex-Scientologist faces on them. So just like real weird, real quick, real fast. And I was always surprised to see that there were certain people who they were in everybody's chat, just loving on the creators that were, making this horrible merch, like horrible things, saying horrible things. And then they'd be in our chats saying like, oh, we love your story, be strong. I was just like, what is wrong with you people? But you know what? You know what I did? I had too much Chardonnay on Memorial Day weekend and did a live where I talked hella shit and like threatened violence. I laughed because it was like really inappropriate. In case the people watching haven't noticed that I laugh when I'm nervous and inappropriate. And some people, even though the live was taken down, or that part was kind of edited out by my friend who did the live, videos were made, Reddit posts were made, and it's like the one thing that I've done, and I really didn't even do anything that bad. I really just like drank too much white wine and said that I would like, if somebody tried to make kids go back into Scientology, that I would violently assault them, which I didn't really mean, but having people just make videos about that, and like I was mortified, and just I had to take a day, and I had to fake it till I made it. I made like 6 videos where I was like super sassy about it, even though I was dying inside.
Yep, I know.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess all this is just to say, like, it's no joke putting yourself out there. Like every mistake, whether it's a huge mistake or a tiny mistake, everybody has something to say. Like other people haven't made mistakes before. I don't know. Or you guys don't suffer from any kind of like mental illness. Like I have been a feral animal before, like in my state of mental, like it would be so shitty if who I was when I was 20 was like still in my face every day. People have to get a break in order to actually prove to the world, like, I can do this better. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of expectation.
I also think people always say like I think they think by bullying me like every day and all this stuff that I'm gonna leave the internet for good. I think that's their goal, right? They don't want me on here anymore. They've said it so many times.
Right.
I think they're not comprehending. There's not much more they can say. I'm not leaving. Like, why do I have to remove myself from here? I think they think, okay, they've said like, oh, I'm searching for like validation on here, and that's why I'll never leave, and that's my main problem. But the thing is, like, I don't think my videos are really searching for validation. If I wanted it, I could get on here and say so much stuff and like really switch the narrative on the things that have happened. Mm-hmm. But I don't, and I don't want to. I post because I like to,
Right.
And, but yeah, I've done the lives with the wine, and I stopped. I figured out quickly I should shut my mouth. It was like, no more. When I first started, I was crashing out. All this happened. I was responding to every hate comment. I was crashing out. Annie, she would write me before she would go to work, and she'd be like, do not post until I go. Keep up. Yeah. And so, I learned quick. I had to. Because I was like, okay, you can't keep crashing out on the internet. Like, you can't keep doing it. And then I would feel bad, so then I'd cry on the internet, and I'd be like, I don't know what's going on. And then I'd be like mad, and then I'd be like sassy and defending myself.
Yeah.
I look back at my videos from last year when all this happened, and I'm like, so embarrassing. Like, what was I doing? Like, why was I on here, like, defending myself so bad, like, over something that, like, why, and but they say there's a Netflix show coming about me, so we'll see.
Really?
That's what his size says. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I would think they would reach out to you. Jeez.
Oh, they would definitely reach out to me.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Yeah, no, they would reach out to me. To be honest, what is the show without me? Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well,
Not to sound like an asshole, but there's no story, no show, no nothing without me on here. If I got off the internet, they're essentially telling a story about no one. Like,
right. Yeah, that's true. And I think it's funny too. I find it ironic when haters are like, shut up or go away. Because, you know, ex-Scientologists get that too. When it's like, actually, you're pushing me further into this because, you know, like they get more views, you get more interaction. People come on, they're like, I hate you. It's like, you realize that you just boosted the algorithm. You just made this video bigger.
It's so weird. It's like, the amount of fake profiles, 0 following, zero follower, 0 everything that are on that like comment or message me or something. And I'm like, you hate a stranger, and maybe I'm not a stranger. Maybe they know me in real life and they're like, you know, it's one of them. I don't know. But nonetheless, so much that you are constantly creating fake profiles, which means you have to use a new email every time or a phone number or something. So you're creating email addresses to create a profile, to then come to comment just to get blocked immediately and then do it all over again in a quick second. And it's like all for someone that you don't like. I can never understand it.
Yeah, that is strange. And it is funny too, because it's like, well, what if you actually put that exact amount of time into doing something like, I don't know, trade stocks for 7 minutes a day? Like, do something that benefits your life, because hating on other people is never, I don't know, never gets anybody anywhere. I find it crazy. So I told you that I got my own subreddit. It doesn't have a lot of action, unfortunately.
I'll go visit it.
Please do. Please do.
I'm gonna get
I'm big.
After this, they're gonna be right over there. Like, oh my
I'm
God.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
We're in enemy territory right now, so you're in big trouble.
I know. Well, I feel like I've been in enemy territory for like the past almost year in a way, because people, every time I will post or say something, I think I said something on yours where I was like, I hope that you like can turn it around. And I had some people message me like, how dare you? Like, how dare I? Oh no, encouraging somebody else to do better. How dare I? Anyway,
the easiest part of the whole thing, I think that the most wild thing that I ever think about is they will bash me. Everything that they say, I will have these people saying the most horrific things. If I say one single thing back to them at all, anything, it could be the most simple thing, they're like, how dare you, I'm calling the police on you, or I'm reporting you for harassment. And I'm like, reporting it? You have a whole page about me. How in the world are you reporting me for harassment? Like, I'm putting a restraining order on you. And I'm like, for one video that I posted responding to a comment you made on my thing, you're going to file a restraining order on me. But this is at least the 100th comment you've left today. And you have a whole entire page dedicated to tearing me down, baby. Like, how it's like, it just doesn't, it's not clocking. What's that Justin Bieber meme? It's like, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, I'm standing on business. It's not clocking with you. I mean, I guess that is it is really confusing. In the ex-Scientology space, there's like probably 9 trolls, and one of them has been found out, like who they are, like, because they did a copyright complaint, and when you do that on YouTube, it opens up conversations with lawyers and email addresses or whatever. And so at least 3 of these trolls, and these are people who are on Reddit every single day. They're posting, they're commenting in these specific ex-Scientology groups all day, every day. I was shocked to find out that 3 of them are between 75 and 85 years old.
What?
Isn't that wild to think about?
Never guessed that ever. I'm gonna be picturing this now. When there's like all these like random comments, I'm gonna be like, how old are they? I would assume, typically I think my mind goes to like my age or something.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, they're probably like 30. I don't know. But like, what?
There's research actually. If you like, there's scientific studies about boomers, and why they're like, how they get into this weird narcissistic loop. Like, it's like a love bombing type loop where they feel powerful, where the same kind of power that they used to feel when they were like at the peak of their life, like in control. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So
Wow.
I don't know. I wish I could go. I wish I could have a reality show where all I do is just uncover internet trolls. That's what I want.
That
I
would be
want to,
fun, actually. So for a
right?
while, I was like, I was looking up, like, for a while, like at the beginning, I was so like, I am not joking. My boyfriend was like, Liz, you are sick. Because like I could not get off Reddit. Like I was like hot. I couldn't get off Reddit. I would stay up all night long. He would like roll over next to me in the bed and I'm like this on my phone, like reading about me at like 3 a.m. And he'd be like, Liz, get off, get
Yeah.
off, get off. What is wrong with you? Like, get off. And he was like, you need to tell your therapist about this. Like, this is not normal. Like, whatever. Like, you have to. He's like, you have to stop. Like, at one point, I'm not joking. And like, I think like February or something, he was like, if you do not delete Reddit from your phone, I'm breaking up with you.
Aww.
He was like, you have to stop it right now. Like, this is sick.
It's me or Reddit.
Yeah. He's like, it's sick. And
No, I get that. Yeah.
it was bad because like I couldn't stop. I just like couldn't stop reading and I would like try to find out who these people are. I'm like, who is this? And some of them I could find out because they're so stupid. They like
Yeah.
they've had their Reddit for like 10 years or however long they've had it, I don't know. And you can see all the other things they've commented on. So you can see like where they live, asking about taxes in their area or like just stuff. And I was like, me and Annie were like sending all these things to each other, like, okay, I think this person is this. I think this person, and we were matching it with like my Instagram and the people that were stalking me on there. It was like this triangle. Like, and finally one day I was just like, you know what? I do have to stop. I'm losing sleep. I'm just so stressed.
Yeah.
And I'm reading all these hateful things about myself and like believing them and like thinking I'll never change, never be better. And so finally I was like, I haven't, and then my Reddit got banned, which was like the best thing ever. I couldn't even like, when she told me that it got banned, I was like, I started crying hysterically. I was like, oh my God, thank God. Because
Just a relief.
it was such a relief. Because also Reddit was the very first website that popped up if you Googled my name.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, that it wasn't even that I cared that there was a Reddit page. Honestly, it was just that you Googled Elizabeth Teckenbrock, Reddit was the first thing that popped up. And I was like, oh my gosh. And now they've probably had 10 Reddit pages banned because you cannot type my name on there. My whole name is banned from Reddit. So Elizabeth Teckenbrock is completely banned from Reddit. So if they
That's so nice.
Teckenbrock, like anything like that, remotely, Lizzie, anything, it's banned immediately. Or if I can like prove that they're talking about me in any way, like they will ban it right away. So they've had so many ban. And now like I don't care what they have really because it doesn't come up at when it's Googled. So I don't really I don't care if they have like a weird fake name for Reddit for their haters. Go ahead. I don't care. Like talk on there if you want. It doesn't bother me. As long as it's not my name popping up on Google with it, and it doesn't anymore. So
That's so nice.
and then his TikTok got banned after that.
Oh, is that the Inventing Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Is that not back?
Oh, he'll never get it back.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
No.
He's on the dad.com or whatever it is now.
So he has the dad.com and then the new inventing Elizabeth 2 or something.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the first one got banned with like I don't know how many he had, like 35,000 followers or something like that. He'll never get it back. No, it's done.
Huh. Was that for harassment? Is that why he got it taken away?
No, actually, copyright from him reposting my face like several times on there. Like my aunt said, in many more pages. But yeah, like it got banned just from him posting me multiple times, like reposting my own video like right behind him or whatever. And yeah, so TikTok got it for copyright and he had gotten multiple flags for it, like over and over and over again, multiple flags on his lives many times. And so finally they took it down. Dang. Yeah, I was unbelievably shocked the day I was in the car driving and like or riding or something. I don't even remember. I was in the car though, and she called and told me, and I was like shaking. I was like, oh my God, I can't even believe this happened. Like I had no idea that it was even possible or gonna happen. And I kind of given up on the fact that it would ever go away. Um, and obviously he still has more, and he has people that, you know,
Yeah.
talk on there and stuff, but it will never be as big as it was because the amount of followers that it had were from the very first
Right.
make of the cupcake video.
Right. When you went viral. Yeah. And I remember feeling like that was pretty sus and weird when he came out. Like he came out and said his piece and then he like kept saying more stuff and more stuff and more stuff. Which I mean, I don't know. Somebody did get me pretty good because they said to me, I said to him, I said about Andrew, like, why do you keep talking about this? And he was like, well, why do you keep talking about Scientology? And I was like, I guess because I'm trying to warn people. And he was like, well, that's what I'm doing. And then I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're at a standstill then. So that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess you got me there. Yes. Do you talk to him? I mean, how do you guys communicate? Do you have like a mediator?
We don't communicate at all. I email him. He emails me sometimes about court, but other than that, we do not speak whatsoever. So that will hopefully change this upcoming court case.
Yeah.
Against
Well, I won't ask you questions about it because I know that you can't talk about it. But I will say in the comments, a lot of people have been like, she should go to court. She should go to court. She should fight for her kids. She should fight for her kids. And I'm hearing that is what you're doing.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people don't understand it's a very long process. It's not something that can happen overnight. It's not, he's broken a lot of rules inside the parenting plan that we do have. And so that's what I'm dealing with now is like, I think what people don't understand is when before this TikTok situation happened, now he cut me off completely because he has to keep the narrative that he's put on, whereas before that, it wasn't that. Probably shouldn't say obviously much more about that, but yeah, that's kind of what happened.
Yeah. It seems like from everything that I've seen, it seems like Andrew got pretty upset that you went viral. It seems like the fact that you went viral and got a lot of attention when a year and 4 months ago really, I don't know, it's almost like everyone is chasing that dragon, but it's not quite their dragon. It was your dragon.
I think that I think one thing I think that he kind of got upset about in terms of or he felt the need to do that is number one, there's a 0% part of him that ever wanted me to have any attention, married, not married, anything like, I mean, even to the point if I would like get dressed up to go out. I want to make this clear. I'm not shit talking him, guys. I'm just stating what happened like on my side, and not in a negative way to him. He was very much like the type that like if you get dressed, and you're like, instead of being like, oh, you're really pretty, he's the type to say like, where are you going like that? Like, who are you dressing up for? Like, those are the words like that he would immediately say. And I think like the second I went viral online, he had the page before that though, to be fair. He had the page before, but he had taken the videos down. He had taken it off. Then when this happened, he got viral. He was immediately like posted, the video and stuff. Got a little attention for it. And I think that like he saw that I did too. So he just kept going and going and going because it was very easy. And I think he felt validated in the fact that people were not liking me. And he could talk about things. And that's okay and that's why at first or after some time, not at first. At first I was pissed and like upset and angry. But like for a while, now I've kind of just let it go because I've just been like, I don't, and I think I don't care about me and why he does it. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm 30 years old. It's out there. It's this and that. My main reason is that it's so bad to the children. Like that's where my issue lies. And it's not about me. It's them. It's like when they grow up, someone's going to Google their last name
And the first thing that will pop up is him talking about this. And that's going to be for the rest of their life. Their teachers, their, like, like anything. Like you Google Cormier, this pops up. You Google Teckenbrock, this pops up. And I think like those are things like, I don't know if he doesn't feel truly that will affect them, but it will very much. And I don't like, it's going to affect them in their own heart anyway, knowing that this has happened online and all of this has been out here. And that's why like I never even truly told what happened on my side, like with him specifically, because that's not something they ever need to hear about their father. Like I would never want them to hear the things that he did. And like I said, very minimal to defend myself. But they're going to grow up and they're going to have to see this. And then on top of that, anyone in their life, their future life is going to see it as well. And that's what I struggle really, really, really hard with, is that like, that's not fair to them. Destroy me, and do what you can and all of those things. If you went all around town and you talk about me, fine, go ahead, like whatever. At least that's not accessible to everyone that they're going to meet in their life. Like, and that sucks really bad. And I know that he's not going to care about, Chance and Blake in the way that that's going to affect them, but I would have hoped he would have cared about the girls and that it will affect them. And it's just now, like, you tell your story, maybe get off, but you've done that already. And so now it's just like a mockery every single day about it. And I keep waiting for the day at one point that like he will be like, wow, this isn't good for my daughters. Like, holy crap. And I don't know, I think that that's going to also cause an issue between them whenever they're older, and I've tried to tell this to him and my family's tried to tell this to him. Okay, this isn't, like, this isn't a good idea, like you shouldn't be doing this to your children. It's not the best way to go about things. And unfortunately, it doesn't click, because him, I think, I don't know if it's the attention. I don't know what it is that overpowers it, but he's told the story, he's told the story time and time and time again. There's no more story to tell. Like, it's there. So like, can we stop now or no? And so.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of up to you in a way. Because that song, let's give them something to talk about. Because whatever comes next that you're like giving people to talk about is, I guess it's not completely up to you, but you're the engine that's pulling the train.
Sometimes, I swear, I sit back and this little like mischievous part of me is like, today I had a mischievous part. And I was like, I called my friend on the phone. I'm like, I kind of want to post this, like something that like I have. It had nothing to do with him at all, just my own life, something I did, right? And I was like, I kind of want to post this picture, and in the background is I know something that's going to make them very mad.
Did you post it?
I didn't. I
just
piece. I was like,
See, everybody's self-control.
No.
You'll post it tomorrow. Just wait.
I know. She said that. She literally said, You're choosing the right thing today. Give it a couple days. She said it'll end up there. I was like, yeah. And I know that I sometimes like the old me creeps in. The like, it's just, it happens. At least it's not, anything too bad anymore. But sometimes I'm like, I want to stir it. Like, and I try my best not to. But
we all get that way.
They make it hard for me to not sometimes. Yeah. Like sometimes I'm just like, one person can only take so much. It's like day after day after day after day after day. And then sometimes I just want to like give them something to talk about because I'm like, you guys, the stuff you're talking about is boring. You've already told it. Like, right. We talked about something new, but
you'll just have to do something exciting. I was curious about your like domestic violence nonprofit. Other people said that was a scam. It sounded to me like it was a good intention thing that just didn't take off. But like, is that ever something you'd want to do again?
I don't know that I would love to do that again. I think if I did, it would be a very long time before I could ever even do that based on what all of this is. That is the biggest lie out of everything they've ever said. There was no ill intent in that at all, zero whatsoever. Unfortunately, what happened is my event was supposed to be in August of that year that it was coming out, like my birthday video. In August of my birthday video, I filed for the IRS August 20, or I'm sorry, April 27th. We posted like the promo in May. That video came out in May. So that's it. The event venue canceled on me because of all of it. Like it just like all spiraled out of control from the birthday video and him. And so there was no way backing out of that, you know, none.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing. I just let them kind of go with it, like whatever. The one girl that makes a million videos about me, she'll love this shout out. Her name is like Mylar Babies on here. I don't know her real name, but
Oh my gosh, I know her. I mean, I don't know her, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah. She knows who I am too. What's up? Hey.
Yeah, she loves it. She loves it. We're gonna get 5 videos after this made about us on her profile. But anyway, she purchased a ticket to that event. She's the only person that ever did a ticket to the event. And she did it after his videos. So it was a proof of it, like to prove a point video, a prove a point purchase or something like that. She got a refund. And I don't know, like she's like literally held on to that for dear life. Like, I don't even know what at all. Like, I have nothing even to say about that. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. I don't. That's so messed up, Liz. I don't know. So somebody's saying that isn't what happened, but that's definitely what happened. There's a lot of things I'm sorry for that I've done wrong. That is not one of them. I'll never apologize for something I didn't, you know. And this is something I've said a million times as well, as far as that goes. I never at one point took anything from her, like that she got on and bought a ticket to an event that they canceled. So, and she knew this because of his videos. But we will.
Is that her whole thing? That's her whole deal? Is that ticket?
Her whole deal is that ticket, I guess. She said she also says that she emailed me an email about her domestic violence, and then I turned around and used her story as my domestic violence story.
Oh, that's right. That's what I heard her say.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Oh yeah, no.
I feel like you have your own domestic abuse stories.
I mean,
do any of us need to make up other abuse stories?
I mean, how much? I don't know though. Like, I'm sure a lot of domestic abuse stories probably line up, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to abuse someone and only a certain amount. I mean, you can abuse someone in certain ways. Like, I don't really even know, but
right. This one person is Amy, I think, has put the same question in my chat 500 times. Basically, Leah Remini and Yashar Ali, I don't know if you know who these people are, but Leah Remini and then Yashar Ali is a journalist, have come out and said Andrew is not a Scientologist. And do I agree? First of all, that's funny. I'm going to find those clips.
I've never
Because if those two people are talking about Andrew being a Scientologist, that means that my video went viral and you're so close to the Netflix show, because
I've never ever seen them talk about this. I feel like we would have both been tagged a million times. There's no fucking way that he got online and made a statement that he's not a Scientologist.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. But if you weren't watching before, if you take 2 years of classes at the World Institute of Scientology Enterprises, and you use Scientology language, and you pay thousands and thousands of dollars that get funneled up to Scientology's mother church, then you're more, at that period of your life, you are more a Scientologist than not. So there you go, Amy.
Yeah, I honestly would be baffled, absolutely baffled, if they got on to say something like that. I don't see that ever happening. They would be stating a fact that they do not have any idea about, and I don't see them putting their nose in a situation that they know nothing about.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh man. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that we talked. I'm glad that you like. I like you. I've always been rooting for you, and people
You
can
have. You're the first. I hope you know you're the first person I've ever agreed to do this with. I've never,
Oh,
ever,
really?
not one time. I've never got on with a single other person at all ever and answered any questions. I have said no to every single person, but I knew even if you asked me hard questions, you come up from a place of like actually just wanting to know. It's not interrogation. It's not ever from ill intent. So
Right.
I trusted that. Because also, you've made videos that aren't necessarily like not coming at me, but they're just neutral. Like they're neutral videos where you're not coming at him, you're not coming at me, you're just kind of like neutrally doing it. And so, yeah, no, I'm very, very glad.
I'm glad too. And like, I think honestly, from the bottom of my heart, like, people can make huge mistakes and can learn from them and overcome. I know I have, and I've seen people in my life. So, like, I also always want to root for somebody like who has you have everything that it could possibly take. Like, you clearly have the X factor or whatever. Like, you have something amazing. You what is it? You're like, maybe you're like a witch and you like used your power for bad, but now you can use your power for good.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Wow. I don't know. I feel like I'm happy for you, and I do hope that you keep out of trouble for whatever that means. I don't know.
Yeah, I've learned my lesson there. No more trouble for me. I'm just living a very calm, peace life nowadays. I don't want trouble. I just peace. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on my way there, honestly. And I hope for him and I hope for everyone else truly that they decide they want peace too, and not even peace for me, but peace for them, because there is a 0% chance that they're living a peaceful life if they're doing this, because this isn't peace. This is stress. This is
Right.
hate, and anyone that's holding this much hate in their heart and in their mind is not living in peace.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
see that from their face, from their body, from their health, all of those things. Like, you can tell you're not living in peace. You're not. Yeah. So I hope for them, they also, decide.
Yeah. And don't you, I mean, for me, like, I want everyone to be the main character in their own life. I feel so sad for people who aren't even the main character in their own life.
Yep.
Like, I guess that'd be my biggest, like, become the main character in your own life. And if you're so mad about what somebody else has done in the past or might do in the future, like, you it's like chasing a rainbow. There's nothing there for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
I agree.
frustrating. It's
I wish
frustrating.
that, like, and I will be honest to say, Andrew is actually a very intelligent man. He has a lot of knowledge. He's very, very sweet. He can be very, very sweet, and he's very, very, very knowledgeable. Although, yes, he has a lot of things. He is so smart. One of the smartest people I've met. So there is so much he could give to the world and say and teach, because he has a lot. He's like the guy that you ask a question and he knows the answer, like Jeopardy, like there's a lot there. And so I wish that he would utilize that more, because not a lot of people get to see that, because it's just all about me and hating me and talking about me and things. And he could have a lot more to say than what he is saying.
He could. And I mean, even like if he really does just want views and clicks, honestly, from a branding perspective, becoming the dad, like stepping up and being like the bigger father who doesn't bash the ex-wife is kind of, I think, gonna stand out more. Like, guys who bash their exes, whether they've done horrible things or not, it's a dime a dozen. It's not really that compelling of a story. We've all seen it happen. Like everybody's ex is crazy, whether they are or aren't. Like it's just everybody's is. So it'd be nice to see him actually, do something again, like use his power for good.
Yeah.
But
No,
I don't know.
he could do a lot. He could have a lot to say, and I always told him that like before, when I was married to him, I always like told him he's smart. He's very, very smart. So he had the platform. He could have changed it into something else. Um, Unfortunately, he didn't. And for him, I hope one day that he does all of that because it's sad. But
I mean, it's been a year and 4 months, so I'd be curious. We should check back and like, we could do a monthly check-in. What's happening now?
I keep hoping it's ending.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you been able to like, do brands reach out to you and stuff? Have you been able to really like monetize or capitalize on this much? I don't really know how to do that. I'm always curious what other people
So
do.
I used to. I used to get paid pretty well from brands and things like that. But what happens is the second I post a brand, all of those people start messaging them.
Oh, right.
Immediately. So it's kind of turned into not anymore.
Right.
I have 2 coming up next month. One with Celsius, where they reach out and it's not like, so I was through all of this still getting sent product and that they just kind of wanted me to talk about, but not pay me. There's like free product for talking about things. So like brands will send me makeup or whatever, but I never like, this is like one of the first ones I've had in like a while. And then I have like a lipstick company that asked me to do it too, and I haven't accepted that one because I don't actually know anything about the lipstick. But also they offered to pay me. But Celsius is like one of the first ones because like they for in a long time because of all of this. So
This could be a good fit. Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like you probably aren't too far off from probably getting a book deal. Really.
Yeah, I've been every single night. I've been working on my book every single
Oh,
night.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's so exciting.
Yeah, so ever since I decided I'm staying home every day, every single night, I sit here on my computer and I write my book every single night. Because I'm like, you know what? People would pay to know what goes on inside of my head, that's for sure.
For
Yep.
sure.
And I talked to a lawyer about how I could write it without like tattling on myself or others that were like involved in anything that happened that I did or what they did or anything like that, and how I can write that as like a fiction story.
I was gonna say you could probably write some wild fiction because it can be fiction. You can also put in
Correct.
fiction.
Yep. Yeah. So no, that's amazing. Yeah, that's really, really, really super exciting for me. I don't know anything about selling it. I don't know anything about that yet. That's not even remotely what's been going on, but I did start writing it and I did talk to a lawyer about how I can do it without saying everything. So yeah, no, that I don't want to like get too full of myself, but I think it'll do something that will do well if it gets picked up. Because
I think so because I mean in reality, like love to hate you, love you, whatever. Like everybody can make a video about you. You're the one. You're like I don't know. You can write whatever you want, and then they'll all read it, whether they want to read it to love you or to hate you.
1,000%. And I don't. And again, like not in any cocky way, but without me, there is no story. There's no videos. There's no page. There's nothing to talk about here. Minus all of that, none of them have anything to say.
Right. I feel like that also makes people mad. Like I think there are a certain type of person that never breaks the rules and always like plays the game as it's laid out. But you can't win, like in America or in jobs or education. Like you can't win by playing by the rules. And I do think it infuriates people to see someone who got to where they want to be in a way that they don't understand or like don't agree with. Like there's lots of people who become famous for, I mean, look at Kim Kardashian. She had a freaking I could even say that. Sorry. A tape. She had a tape. I mean, she did a bunch of other very worthwhile stuff, but like that was kind of the thing that put her over the line. And then she did suffer for what, like a decade of just like, you're nothing, you're nothing, you're nothing. And now she's a billionaire or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said for that grind through, I think, that love to hate period.
Yeah, I think for me, I try to just remind myself, obviously, like, yeah, there are things that I did to get out of situations that I needed to get out of.
Hmm.
But there are also things I did because I just did them, you know, not because I was getting out of any situations. And so, yeah, I don't know where it will go. I don't know what will happen, especially in my life. But all I know is I've lived definitely a crazy one, and people will definitely hear about it for sure, somewhere, some way.
Yeah.
And
Good.
all the things in my head.
Right. Someone says in a comment here that he is on a live sending pick-me's into our comments.
Yeah, I have a lot in mind.
I know. I've been looking at mine too.
Yeah.
But whatevs. All right. Well, I guess I'm good. You got anything else? Any other hot tea to dish?
I don't think so. Not yet. I think, you know, maybe when you see my photo in a couple days, we can convene when I post the the thing I didn't want to post today.
Yeah.
You're gonna
That's
see it,
fun.
you're gonna be like, oh, that's what she was talking about.
That's the one. That's the one. You'll see me heart it and then be like, oh, she knows. She knows. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm glad we did this. Thank you so much for reaching out and, you know, talking to me and stuff.
Yeah, of course. I mean, thanks for talking to me. Yeah. Well, we should do it again. All right. Well, I'm still rooting for you. So don't let me down. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, and don't get too bullied from being on here with me.
I mean, I'm used to the ex-Scientologist. I think I can handle
You don't
a
know.
little of the Andrews pick
That we
me.
mentally are
Yeah.
able to do that just because of that Scientology.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Scientology. Gee,
Yeah.
Willikers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Well,
Wow.
I'm gonna go to bed, but I will talk to you soon.
Okay, cool. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
See ya. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.